In this video, we see more Hasbro Beyblade CX reveals, and the New York Toy Fair shows off a bunch of new upcoming Hasbro releases. This is ZB News. Hello my fair frogs, it's your Canadian Beyblade boy ZB, and in this video, we will be looking at a bunch of Beyblade X reveals shown to us from the New York Toy Fair, documented by Peg, aka Moonmist Blue, who is the co-founder of Delect.net. This video is sponsored by Earth, because without our glorious planet, we wouldn't have a place to play Beyblade. Last time, I took a quick look at the Hasbro version of the Beyblade CX Arc Wizard Starter Pack, but with the New York Toy Fair getting more coverage since then, we have even more reveals. In fact, some more CX Starter Packs have been showcased. Now, the CX system is Beyblade X's new upcoming system, which takes the usual one-part blade and turns it into three, making it more customizable. The three parts that make the blade are the lock chip that has the art design and locks everything together, the main blade, or what Hasbro calls the primary blade, that is the biggest and most substantial part of the blade that acts as the main influencer of how a blade will perform, and the assist blade, or what Hasbro calls the auxiliary blade, which supplements the abilities of the main blade. I didn't talk about the name change before, but overall, I think it's harmless, though it is interesting that Hasbro went with more complicated words, when in the past they've always been about making things simpler. I think it's because their current English language social media pages are run by the British. We got to see Arc Wizard again, but this time we have a closer look at the actual Beyblades. To be honest, it looks very pretty, but I am worried about the gaps. It kind of feels like on top of the Takara Tomy 1v1 ban with Wand Wizard, they really didn't want another Wand Wizard situation and overcorrected with Arc Wizard. I'm sure it will have a lot of stamina, but I think it will be easier to knock out and burst. But then again, this is all speculation based on images. We won't know 100% until we get the Beyblades in hand, but we can make educated guesses based off of past experiences with Beyblade. Next up is Dran Brave, which Hasbro calls Courage Dran, which seems to be a polarizing name change. I for one don't really mind, you can call it whatever you like. What I like about seeing the English boxes is the info on the back, which tells us about what the parts are supposed to do. The Courage primary blade is noted to have strong downward force, which I think is good to have for a CX attack type blade because of how tall they are. I am guessing this downward force is gonna let it be great with downward smash attacks. If that's the case, then it has some tough competition, since Beat Tyranno is the current downward smash attack king. The S auxiliary blade has the specialty of a low center of gravity, which seems like something you would say for a stamina type, but I guess it just means that it's short, which makes sense because the actual Courage Dran blade doesn't look as tall as the other CX blades. Next up, we got Dark Perseus, which I think is better than the Takara name of Perseus Dark. From the original three, this is my favorite. To be honest, I feel like it's gonna be a better stamina type than Arc Wizard. It seems to be pretty anti-attack and defense focused. The Dark Blade's specialty is its wavy blades that disperse attacks, which sounds like this blade is gonna be good against attack types. The B auxiliary blade specializes in shock absorption. Now this is interesting, the shape looks really good and defensively this does sound great. However, I do worry that the shock absorption may hurt its stamina, but we will see when it comes out. Now these are all CX Beyblades we have already looked at. The most exciting one is actually the Reaper Incendio starter pack. The original Takara Tomy Howl's Reaper seems to be like it's going to be a random booster prize, which is honestly a shame for a main character Beyblade, so I am glad that the Hasbro one is going to be a regular release. Looking close at the blade, and it's really cool. It was pretty obvious just by looking at the primary blade, but Reaper specializes in rapid smashing attacks, so I guess it's essentially going to be a better dagger Dran. What is more interesting to me is the T auxiliary blade that enhances attack and stamina. If that's the case, this is definitely going to be a great part to have. We also get a closer look at the K-bit, which kind of gives me the vibes of an in-between of the taper and flat bit, so it will be interesting to see how well it performs. especially since it seems Reaper Incendio is going for an attack stamina balance. Now, there was a ton more revealed at the toy fair, so let's take a look. In my last news video, I talked about the collab multipacks, and it seems I missed out on another collab. We are getting another Star Wars one, which looks to be based off of the prequels or Clone Wars, since the blades use the Obi-Wan and General Grievous characters. The Obi-Wan blade looks to be a retool of Lance Knight, and General Grievous looks to be a retool of Horn Rhino. Those two blades seem to get a lot of echoes based off of them for some reason. Apparently, Obi-Wan is on the 460 ratchet and point bit. The point bit is great to have, being a balance of stamina and attack. General Grievous is on the 380 ratchet and high needle bit. The high needle bit is one of the best defense bits in Beyblade X. Overall, it seems like the bits are the best part of this set, aside from the collab blades. I just wish we got echoes from different blades, since we already saw a lot of echoes based off of Lance Knight and Horn Rhino already in 2024. Speaking of unique echoes, we seem to be getting an echo of Shelter Drake with Gill Shark from the Pearl Tiger Gill Shark dual pack. Now, the weird thing about this dual pack is that ToyWiz has listed a Wave 4 dual pack with Pearl Tiger, but it's called Weiss Tiger, and that one comes with Talon Terra. So this dual pack is probably from a different wave, unless the title for the Wave 4 one was a placeholder. But if the Pearl Tiger Gill Shark dual pack is from a different wave, it is kind of weird to see Pearl Tiger or Weiss Tiger or whatever they end up calling it get multiple of the same releases. Though Knife Shinobi was also released twice in dual packs, so there is precedent. If they are different, then this version of Pearl Tiger and Gill Shark is definitely going to be the one to get. Weiss Tiger is a balance type blade that kind of fell through the cracks, being a mid blade that was overshadowed by the release of the UX line. I don't even have the Takara Tomy version, even though that was released in a booster pack. 360 is always great to have, and the Unite bit is a bit that's similar to Taper. However, apparently the original release of Weiss Tiger has some production issues with the Unite bit, so the Hasbro release is going to be interesting since it will most likely be fixed. But what's really interesting is the Gill Shark blade. This looks like a thicker, more compact version of Shelter Drake, and reminds me a lot of the original Metal Fight Beyblades. This combo is built for stamina with the 470 ratchet and orb bit. This looks like it will be the second ever release of the orb bit for Hasbro, and it's interesting that it's a dual pack again. Wave 1 dual packs are becoming hard to find in my area, so this may be the only way to get the orb bit by the time this dual pack comes out. Honestly, I really like this release. I don't have Pearl Tiger, and Gill Shark looks really cool. I really hope that this is a Wave 4 release, but with the ToyWiz listing being titled different, I'm not entirely sure. Taking a look at another dual pack, and this one is really interesting because it has a UX blade in it. The Sphinx Cowl Crest Leon dual pack is interesting since it lets us know we can expect more dual packs to have UX blades. Sphinx Cowl 180 Gear Flat was originally released in the Phoenix Rudder deck set in Takara Tomy. If you're a fan of Sphinx Cowl, now you have a blue version of it, so that's cool. Crest Leon is the main attraction here. The Crest Leon blade is the best pure UX defense blade in Beyblade X. Unfortunately, its stamina is kind of mediocre, which has hurt its popularity, especially since Wand Wizard is so dominant and is preferred even for defense combos. Though what actually may be even more of a pull for this dual pack is the 760 ratchet, which brings the powerful 7-sided ratchets into the Hasbro format. 7-sided ratchets are the heaviest ratchets in Beyblade X and are great for attack and defense combos. It's definitely a great part to have in your arsenal. And finally, the Gear Needle bit, which is a defense bit that actually works better as a niche stamina bit for destabilization combos, but it is a really niche choice. Overall, it is cool to see a dual pack with a UX blade. I already have both of these Beyblades, so I'm not going to be picking this one up, but Crest Leon is an okay UX blade to get. And finally, the last new Beyblade revealed in the Toy Fair is the Blue Soar Phoenix Booster Pack. Now, an old Walmart listing revealed Blue Soar Phoenix to us a while ago, and I thought it was going to be a part of Wave 3 or Wave 4. Unfortunately, the blue Soar Phoenix was in neither waves, so here's hoping it's a part of Wave 5. If it is a part of Wave 5, maybe the rest of the non-CX Beyblades we saw at the Toy Fair are a part of Wave 5 as well. Soar Phoenix 580 Hexa is looking to be an amazing booster pack. First of all, we get Soar Phoenix in a cool blue color. That's most likely going to be the newest, heaviest mold for the blade. And then we also get the Hexa bit on top of that, which is arguably the best defensive bit in the game. Blue Soar Phoenix being released after Hammer Incendio is probably for the best because it's a better and cheaper way to get the Hexa bit. I almost forgot to talk about this, but it looks like we are getting 2 more X over Project Beyblades for Hasbro, Driger and Dranzer. What is interesting is that they are in their original colors. I would have thought they would only do region color exclusives. Before we wrap things up, Peg also made a post on Reddit talking about her conversation with the representative at the booth. Apparently, Hasbro is still working on getting tournaments up and running, and that a championship series will be happening within the next few months. Also, the next World Beyblade Championship will be happening in Japan. This is pretty big news for Beybladers, and it looks like I need to get into tournament shape ASAP. Wow, there sure was a lot of new stuff to talk about. What are you most excited about? I'm pretty much excited about everything. Hopefully we see CX and Hasbro soon. If a world championship is on the horizon, I guess Hasbro showcasing CX so soon makes sense so that all the bladers have the most modern Beyblades available for the tournaments. Special thanks to Chrome Hustler, Sparking Void, and Zrk Joestar for being channel members, and special thanks to Peg for sharing her Toy Fair adventure. If you liked the video, hit the like button, or don't, I'm not the boss of you, but be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get updated whenever I upload. Until next time, see ya!